Let's begin with the updates coming in of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Rome for the high-level diplomatic and strategic engagements with the Italian leadership and what is being seen as a major push to elevate India-Italy ties across defense, trade, security and investment. The Prime Minister will first call on the President of Italy, followed by a key bilateral meeting with the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and her delegation. Sources say the talks will focus on defense cooperation and co-production in India, trade, ports, customs cooperation and stronger police and financial enforcement links as well. This is a picture that has been posted by Giorgia Meloni, who took to social media to welcome Prime Minister Modi, saying, "Welcome to Italy, my friend." There is an important memorandum of understanding as well between India's Enforcement Directorate and the Italian Financial Security Organization that is on the table. Sources say that global flashpoints, including, of course, the Russia-Ukraine war and the West Asia situation, will also feature in the talks. Let's go across to Senior Consulting Editor Srinjoy Chaudhary joining us on the broadcast with the details of what's expected. Mayank is also on the broadcast with us. But Srinjoy, the successful conclusion of India-EU FTA has, of course, expanded the ties with India and the trade possibilities. What's on the agenda with the Prime Minister's visit to Rome? What's expected?
You're right about the FTA. This will ensure much better access to Italian goods and for Italy, Indian goods. That, of course, is a given. But beyond that, what we are hearing is that this relationship is really building up. And let's not forget that Italy is one of the G7 countries, which means one of the 7 biggest economic powers of the world. Now, if that is so, clearly Italy and India can work together well. Now, areas, yes, you're right, the world will be discussed very clearly. The political partnership will be under discussion. Iran will come up. Ukraine, Russia will certainly come up. Apart from that, as far as the economic issues are concerned, economic, industry, defense, as far as defense goes, the idea is to work together, to design together, to develop together, to manufacture together in India and export to certain countries in the world. As far as defense is concerned, as I said, there is already a partnership between Leonardo and Adani. Fincantieri was also here some months ago, and they've also arrived at partnerships. So defense apart, there is this possibility of closer ties economically, which also means Italian investments in India. Now, what we are also hearing, to make all these things easier, there will be a focus on IMEC, which was the brainchild of Ajit Doval, the NSA, but is now largely accepted by most Mediterranean countries. Italy and India both are peninsular countries, they say, and there are many, many ports, and that will be one area of agreements. Ports will be important. Besides that, we are looking at, as you mentioned, a MOU between the Enforcement Directorate and the equivalent Italian financial organization. Then sport, culture, all these areas, because both leaders believe that this can't be just about defense and economic issues and politics. It should involve the whole peoples. And in this case, a Botticelli painting will be in India very shortly. This is Madonna and Child, basically Mother Mary and Child Jesus. That will be on display in Delhi, and that will be brought by the Italians to India.
Okay, so there's going to be a cultural touch highlighting the deep-rooted connection between India and Italy. And like you mentioned, FTA has, of course, expanded the possibilities, the opportunities for trade between the two countries. Defense sector in particular is also going to be in focus. We're going to be talking about all of that. But let's also tell our viewers about the powerful joint op-ed that has been published across multiple international platforms, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni having unveiled a shared strategic vision for the future of India-Italy relations. The two leaders have outlined their vision of building a deeper partnership across trade, technology, energy, space, security, defense, innovation and connectivity, while also framing an emerging Indo-Mediterranean corridor as a new strategic link between the Indo-Pacific and Europe. Now, this joint op-ed emphasizes trusted supply chains, clean energy transition, digital collaboration, maritime security, advanced manufacturing, and also the people-to-people connect. In fact, both the leaders have also referred to the global uncertainties. And let me bring in Mayank here in that conversation. And Mayank, very clearly, this visit is also coming at a very critical time. The West Asia tensions that we are looking at, and also the Russia-Ukraine war that continues. So there are many global uncertainties, and no doubt that's also going to feature in the talks between the two leaders.
See, I mean, the entire this visit of 5 nations need to be talked about. I mean, before we emphasize specifically about Italy, because it has been a success in so many regards. And as far as specifically economic and trade security is concerned, it has been really successful. And apart from the FTA, we have already talked about on that. See, there had been also something called bilateral cooperation plan between India and Italy. And also there had been information sharing as far as there's something called IFC-IOR, Information Fusion Center, Indian Ocean region. So it is sort of a linking between Mediterranean and Indo-Pacific in this case. And Italy, see, mind it, India is focusing on developing its innovation aspect and developing military technologies. So in this case, Italy and India are planning to move ahead, and they are already partners, and I mean, they have comprehensive strategic partnership, or this is how they have elevated their relationship. So it only comes when there's a lot of trust. And in this case, while the world is reeling under so many pressures, this bilateral relationship, as we have already brought out, Italy is part of the G7. So economy plays a major role as far as the growth of any nation is concerned, and that includes military and strengthening in terms of military also. So what we see is going to play a significant role. We have already shared, greater ties in terms of defense since quite long. So but then it is not specifically about, security and defense. A larger gamut is being covered, and the kind of chemistry which is shared between the Prime Ministers of India and Italy is also playing a significant role, and it is going to be a major success before it caps in Italy.
Okay, all right. Mayank and Shinjoy, I request you to stay with us. Trade between India and Italy touched $16.77 billion in 2025. And Times Now spoke to the Italian ambassador, who underlined the growing partnership between India and Italy across sectors, including trade, technology, clean energy and defense. Take a look.
Ambassador Antonio Bartoli, this is such a pleasure. And the two prime ministers are meeting today. Today is really the big day. Tell us what is on the agenda. We hear about defense, innovation, trade and commerce, art and culture. So much happening between India and Italy.
Yeah, art and culture is a privileged terrain of dialogue. We have already proposed to our Indian friends quite an intensive and frankly high-quality calendar of events. Last year, for the first time, we brought Caravaggio masterpiece, the universal painter. This year, we will bring Botticelli, so the quintessence of the early Renaissance. We did extraordinary exhibitions, shared stories that have also, of course, a value to show how this Indo-Mediterranean corridor was already there 2,000 years ago. We brought Roman mosaics, and then performing arts, and then artist residencies. So we want to enhance this and structure even more, and we are ready to welcome all the beautiful events that India will be willing to bring to Italy. Just a few days ago, we greeted with great satisfaction the return of an Indian pavilion at Venice Biennale. So that's great.
And the two prime ministers have a good working relationship. They understand each other. That will probably help to build trust, and particularly in areas like close defense cooperation.
Yeah, because defense cooperation is inherently both political, because it means mutual trust, and then has also an important business and technological dimension. So the two things are there, and so I think we can collaborate in this strategic sector to develop co-production projects and also co-design, because we are willing to share our also technologies with a friendly country.
Co-design and then co-production in India and then export to other countries. That's probably an idea that you're looking at. But it's not just defense, it's a wider area. Trade and commerce, especially after the FTA, should be a positive.
You know, it's a win-win. We have great machinery, we have great talents and industrial know-how. We are the second powerhouse, industrial powers in Europe. And you have scale, capitals, and a potentially huge market. And so joining forces, we can do great things together.